and Bucks. Every day. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily with Steve Sparky Pfeiffer on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
It is time again. How are y'all doing here on a Friday? We are live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. C. Sparky Pfeiffer, Charlie Houston producing today's show. Wanted to get everybody kind of updated on what's going on for Operation Valley Strong. So today and tomorrow, a food and supply drive at the Green Bay East Festival Foods until 7 o'clock today, and tomorrow from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., as well as the Festival Foods in Oshkosh till 7 p.m. today in Oshkosh, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. tomorrow in Oshkosh as well. You want to find out details as far as, what they're looking for and so forth, you can do that too. Go to wisportsradio.com. I checked in right before we came on the air with our sister station, I guess you could say, here on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, WNFL, our guy Jason Hillary, to see, hey, you got an update? What you got going on out there? He said it's going well. Lots of people are showing up. He said they have QR codes that if you pull up to either the festival food locations, Green Bay East or Oshkosh, that you can scan the QR code and make a direct monetary donation through your phone, or you can drop off checks. You can drop off cash donations as well. All the money donations going direct to United Way Fox Cities. So if you're driving around Green Bay, Appleton, you're in the Oshkosh area, or you're like, man, I'm gonna make the drive from southeastern Wisconsin to Oshkosh, and I'm gonna go help out, those people affected by that tornado. That's cool. You don't even have to worry about packing stuff up if you don't want. You can just drive up there, scan the QR code, do your thing, and be on your way. Or you can go up there and maybe do some shopping at the Festival Foods when you get there, and check off some of the boxes on the list that they're still needing. I can speak from the experience of having done the toy drive, for as long as we have. We have a lot of that where people will show up at the toy drive and be like, hey, Sparky, what do you still need? Right? It'll be like Thursday or Friday. Hey, what are we missing? What do you still need that everybody's, not buying or whatever? And then you tell them, and then they go shopping for it. And if they don't have it where we're at, then they'll leave, go somewhere else, get what we need, and bring it back the next day or whatever, which is very cool. I really appreciate that from people. So you all could do the same thing, right? Show up to the Festival Foods, Green Bay East or Oshkosh, and ask them like, hey, what are we missing? What do we need more of that we don't have enough of? And then go get what they're looking for. Or again, make the monetary donation. So again, it's called Operation Valley Strong. You guys are kicking butt right now. Day 1 of 2. Both these days are important. A lot of people affected by this. Houses, businesses, families, pets. I mean, they're looking for dog food, cat food too, right? They're trying to take care of everybody involved in this thing. So highly encourage y'all, if you can get there, to get there and be a part of that. Green Bay East Festival Foods or the Festival Foods in Oshkosh, again, until 7 o'clock tonight, and then tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Coming up on the show today, guest free. I do know that our guy Austin Herdenia, Follow the Money from the Potawatomi Sportsbook, has landed safely. He was, not landed safely from here, but landed safely back with his cruise ship because he was on a cruise, and then was getting prepared to get on a flight and head home this morning. He and I were texting back and forth this morning as he was getting ready to go back to the airport. So Austin Herdenia will be back on this show next Friday and Follow the Money. So we won't have him today.
He's a big cruise guy. Do you like
Is
cruises? Yeah, this is like the third time he's been on vacation and it was a cruise.
Yeah, he said they did the Bahamas this time.
Okay.
So that's cool. My brother actually just got back from his 4-day cruise, or they're flying back today. They went to the Catalina Islands for a 4-day cruise. But the 2 days prior to that, they went to Disneyland because the cruise was out of California.
Catalina Islands. I don't even think it's the same site. It might be. But I just always think of Step Brothers and the Catalina wine mixer. Have you ever seen Step Brothers, dude? I already knew.
I've heard of it. I've heard of it.
It's so funny. You got to watch it.
Yeah, I've heard of it. I'm not a big movie guy. Like, that's why I don't pay for Netflix or anything, because I just don't. That's just not my thing. I record the Hallmark movie on my DVR at home, and then I watch it. And then when that's deleted, then I don't have any more.
Like, again, out of all of the movies you could be watching or wanting to watch, you choose the Hallmark movies. Like, this is crazy to me.
Okay, I'll give you a movie that I watched the other night.
Okay,
that's not a Hallmark
All
movie.
right.
Because Kay's mom came down to surprise her because it's her birthday tomorrow.
You guys went and saw The Odyssey, right?
No. Do you know who went and saw The Odyssey, though?
Who?
Brandon Snide.
Did he like it?
Loved it. Called it like the
good.
top 5 movie of all time.
I don't know if I'd go that far personally, but it was really good.
I was going to tweet because he tweeted it out last night or this morning. I was tweeting back. I'm like, yeah, Charlie almost fell asleep in it. I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't say
I almost fell asleep. I'm just saying it got a little long at points.
That erases it from being a great movie. if you're saying, man, is this ever going to freaking end? No. So you're just going to get more angry at me when I tell you this. So she comes over and I get home and we will get to sports, I promise. Very rarely do we do this type of stuff on this show. But I get home and, I'm done. I just want to do my work and go to bed. Just tired, all these post-game shows, that's it. And she's like, oh, we were waiting for you to get home. I'm like, oh. Now, mind you, it's 8:45, 9 o'clock, whatever it is when I get home. I was like, oh, yeah. She's like, yeah. She's like, so we got you some dinner saved so you can have some dinner. And then once you're done eating dinner, we're going to do cake and presents. And then we want to watch a movie too.
All right.
I was like, I have like 2 hours of work still to do. Like, really? Yeah. It'll be fine. And Kay's like, suck it up. You'll be fine. I'm like, okay. So we ended up watching The Devil Wears Prada 2.
All right. That's a real movie.
That is a real movie. It's not a Hallmark movie or nothing like that.
Have you seen the first one?
Yeah, we saw the first one by our mom like a few months ago.
All right.
And then this thing apparently is streaming now too. So she wanted to watch it with both of us because she watched the first one with us. So I said, okay. So there you go. So that was a real movie.
I accept that.
That accounts.
Better. Yeah,
that counts.
That works.
There you go. You're welcome. We'll probably watch the holiday Christmas movie tomorrow though, for her birthday. Just saying. Coming up on this show, we'll go over what happened at training camp today. We'll get to that. A new name has entered the conversation as far as a potential buck in a deal that they could get. Dare I say there's a connection to the Pacers. Oh my God. So we'll get into that coming up as well this hour. 3:00 hour. Did you see that the guy that just wants to be Michael Jordan in the worst ways, LeBron James, now apparently is going to have a documentary made about him. And he's going to have cameras following him all over this basketball season. And it's going to be like The Last Dance kind of, sort of, with that type of deal, talking to people and yada, yada, yada. So we'll get a little bit into that. Charlie Sounds today at 3:40. 4:00 hour. Plead the Fifth, brought to you by Havish, and Rotier. Your opportunity to tell somebody just to keep your mouth shut. You're embarrassing yourself. Plead the Fifth. That comes up at 4:20 today. Lots to get to on things that Sparky missed coming up at 4:40. Then tonight's the leadoff show starting at 7:30. I'll be hosting that one before the Brewers and Angels. Well, the Brewers have made a deal by the time we get to the leadoff show tonight. I doubt it, to be all honest with you.
Maybe with the
doubt it.
Angels, then it's easy. You just swap dugouts.
Get Joe Adell.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
I take Joe Adell.
You don't want Jose Soriano at all?
I think that's a possibility.
I think that'd be nice.
Detmers is a possibility.
Mike Trout.
Right? They're not trading Mike Trout.
Why not?
Mike Trout doesn't want to be traded. The owner doesn't want him traded. They're not trading Mike Trout.
He would go to Philadelphia.
I just read that this morning. No.
I would still.
The Philly thing is dead. It's from everything I read this morning. The Philly thing is dead.
Anything to trade. That's part of the problem.
And Trout wants to just stay in California and not move or do anything. I want to start off talking again for the 5 millionth time. Don't worry, folks. This is all ends Monday at 5:00 trade deadline. Monday could be a crazy show here from 2 to 5.
Oh, it's gonna
here,
be a good time.
When all heck is breaking loose, like it could be pandemonium on Wisconsin Sports Daily on Monday from 2 to 5.
I think you should skip that show, Sparky.
Dude, it's going to be
I
so
think we have
much
better
fun.
luck of something good happening for the Brewers if you're not here.
You're probably right about that. Yeah. Something major more likely will happen if I'm not here. Right.
Happens every time.
Okay. So there was a report earlier today saying that the Milwaukee Brewers are good on taking the remaining portion of Tariq Skubal's deal, that they're going to pay the whole thing. That was the latest thing that I saw, was that they are willing to take it all on. Now, I don't know why that seems to be such a big deal. But it seems to be a big deal. I think because it's the Brewers and everybody just assumes that they're not going to take any contract on and they're going to make somebody else pay the rest of that deal. That doesn't appear to be the case. Ken Rosenthal of The Athletic is the one that had that. And he says the Brewers, despite playing in Major League Baseball's smallest media market, are willing to take on the remainder of Skubal's salary. According to a person briefed on their discussion, Skubal at Monday's deadline will be owed approximately $9.4 million. He would strictly be a rental for the Brewers, who almost certainly would not re-sign him as a free agent. The bigger question for the Brewers as they discuss a push for Skubal is whether they'd be willing to part with the prospects necessary to land the back-to-back American League Cy Young Award winner. While they likely would resist trading either of their top two prospects, Jesus Madej and Luis Pena, even youngsters further down their top 30 list are highly regarded. Milwaukee, however, considers such players the lifeblood of their organization, the reason they consistently build contenders on lower payrolls. That is from Ken Rosenthal, I don't know, about 45 minutes ago. If they go all in, if they trade Madej, which, again, everybody says they're not going to, but if they trade Madej, if they trade Pena, if they trade Fisher, Andrew Fisher, right? If they trade Adam Shefsky, they trade any of these guys that we're consistently talking about being really, really good. And they push in and they trade 3 or 4 guys to go get a guy, whoever that may be. By the sounds of it, Mason Miller is going nowhere. He's staying in San Diego. Sandy Alcantara, they're not trading him. The Marlins have made him off limits. Everybody else is open for business, but they're not trading Alcantara. So he's not going anywhere. Now, Mize has been scratched for tonight. Peralta's been scratched for tonight. All these guys that are on the trade market have been scratched. The Brewers earlier today have been mentioned as a team that is pursuing Luke Weaver of the Mets. Weaver has this year and next year around $11 million left on his contract. So it would not be a rental. That makes more sense for the Brewers that you would get a guy with a year left on his deal. I want to play you something. And it is Jim Duquette, who is a former big league GM as well. And I love listening to Duquette myself. Now, everybody else may have their own opinion of Duquette. I like Duquette more than I like Bowden. If you're going to give me a choice of who I'd rather listen to, it would be Duquette over Bowden. Now, Duquette, I can't find it. Maybe I'm just not seeing it. Do you have it on your side?
Yeah, I have it on my side.
Okay, sorry. Duquette was on, I think it was Foul Territory, if memory serves correct. And he was talking about the idea of the Mets and one Freddie Peralta potentially heading back to the Brewers. Check this out.
If I'm in David Stern's shoes, like, I got to figure out who's the most interested. I don't get the sense that Milwaukee is all that interested. I think they would be interested, but I don't care. I want the best take on this. But I also don't want to send them back to Milwaukee. So find me the team that's going to pay full freight or give me the best offer that doesn't have Milwaukee Brewers next to it. Because if the Brewers fix them. When we couldn't, and we get 50 cents on the dollar, it's not going to end well for David Stearns, and it's not going to end well for the guys in the front office. So luckily they have 3 other teams that seem to be interested. San Diego, the Cubs, we hear them. They hear the White Sox, maybe another team or so that we haven't heard yet. And those are the likely destinations, not Milwaukee. I think Milwaukee is looking in a different spot. I think they're looking at either Skubal or Gausman, maybe even Robbie Ray, one of those guys that would be starting, one of game 1, 2, or 3. Peralta, unfortunately, when he was there, he wasn't all that successful in those particular roles. I don't think that they are willing to pay the price that the Mets need to trade him there.
There's Jim Duquette. Let me help move this along. Most of you don't want Freddie Peralta, and I understand that. But let's say Matt Arnold and the Brewers are like, I'm not overpaying for Skubal. That's crazy. Robbie Ray, Casey Mize constantly hurt. Don't really know what else is out there, and I don't feel like I'm giving up. I'm giving up a lot of prospects, and it's no certainty that we're going to get him. And you know that if you do a Freddie Peralta deal, that is going to be a potential issue for David Stearns down the line. And Matt Arnold likes David Stearns. David Stearns like Matt Arnold. He's not trying to screw his buddy over and get him fired. So what if it ended up being Peralta and Weaver that came back? Now you can't really justify who the prospects are for one way or the other. What really did you get for Freddie Peralta at the end of the day? Because you're trading for a really good reliever who has a year of control left. It's not pinpointing. You only got that for Peralta. That's not going to be it. So it's going to be Peralta and Weaver. You get a starter, you get a closer. You trade 3 prospects, whatever that is, to get that deal done. And that still leaves you plenty of stuff to potentially go get a hitter if you need to go get a hitter, or maybe another starter at that, depending on how much you have to give up for Peralta and Weaver. That way, Stearns can get out. Like, okay, good. If Freddie Peralta turns out, no harm, no foul. I got my package of prospects, even though they're mostly for Weaver. Nobody knows the difference. And I'm out of this without getting absolutely crucified for trading them back to the Brewers. To me, I think that's the way the Brewers and Mets can get around this, by getting Peralta to Milwaukee without Stearns getting crucified for not getting enough back.
I don't know. I think you look like Luke Weaver is awesome. He has a .84 whip right now. That's crazy, just nuts. But I think because it's going back to Milwaukee, it's always going to be the storyline of Freddie Peralta, no matter who else you put into that trade with him. And I think as long as you give a top 10 prospect in that trade, people are going to be mad about that because they're going to think about it as a Freddie Peralta trade, even though Luke Weaver has had an awesome season. He's a really good reliever. He's been great for the Mets. A lot of Mets relievers have been kind of great this season. Right. If there's one thing that they've been able to do, it's relievers. I'd rather just go get Luke Weaver and Huascar Brazoban and bring one of those 2 guys in, bring in 2 relievers, and then trade a top prospect for that instead, and just leave Freddie Peralta out of this. Again, Freddie Peralta is going to be the focal point of any trade, no matter who else is a part of that.
I think you're right he's going to be the focal point. I just, as you're looking around at who is still available, Robbie Ray is probably going to be third on this list, behind Skubal and Mize would be my guess. He's third.
I would say so.
So, and then you start getting into the Angels pitchers who you're going to see here. Detmers and Soriano, they're on that list. Gausman is going to be on that list potentially, but Gausman has the Brewers on his no-trade list. So Gausman would have to approve of that deal going down if he were to end up with the Brewers. I just don't want this thing to get to 5 o'clock on Monday and they just end up with Weaver and that's all they get. Like, holy cow. And then there was a report earlier this afternoon after the initial report on the Brewers, the Pirates also are trying to get Weaver as well. So the Brewers and Pirates are apparently the 2 that are in the bidding for Weaver with David Stearns. And you just wonder if David Stearns is like, maybe I'll just give him to the Pirates.
Go to a different team.
I don't want to deal with this again like I did with Peralta. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but if the Brewers have the better package, which I think they probably will end up having the better package, Pittsburgh has a lot of their top prospects starting to come up to the major league level right now. And I think that usually means they're going to keep those guys around. A lot of their guys in the farm system don't match what the Brewers have in their farm system. And I think if the Brewers can just offer one extra prospect on top of what the Pirates are adding, they're going to get him for sure.
All right, here's one from Brad in the 414. I don't want Skubal. I think the dude is more focused on his next contract than winning this year. I don't know. Like, I've seen Skubal talk after his last couple of starts in Detroit. He seems like a pretty genuine dude as far as wanting to stay in Detroit and all of that stuff. Well, he got multiple standing ovations after that last start.
That last start, he goes in there. He won the game for him.
It was 7-0 when he walked out.
7-1 when they
walked out. I thought it was 7-0. So 7-1.
Still, then he ends up with 3 earned runs because the next guy comes in and lets the 2 runners that he left on base home. Like, that team, that was the epitome of what's happened all season with him. Like, he's trying. Yes. He still is having a phenomenal year. The Tigers just can't find ways to win games when he's starting.
Here's another one from the 414. Do you all really want fastball Freddie back? Ask St. Louis about Dustin May. I'd listen on Dustin May. Again, I'm not spending a ton for Dustin May, but I'd listen on Dustin May. 414 also says, or go get Robbie Ray if they can't get Skubal. Yeah, Robbie Ray would be good too, right? So then it's Mizorowski, Robbie Ray and Harrison are your front three. That's better than Harrison, Mizorowski, and piggybacking a couple of guys. I mean, Logan Henderson might be that guy by the time you get there. But again, you're going to have that innings decision to be made as well as you get closer, and then trying to keep his back healthy, I think, which is also another concern here. This is the question I wanted to ask. It's taking me 20 minutes to get to it, but here we are. We're going to do it now. And we'll just go into the next segment with it. Is winning an all-in trade only done by making the World Series? So, for example, the Brewers make that trade for Sabathia years ago. They don't go to the series. They give up, 4 dudes, whatever. One ends up working out in Brantley, the player to be named later. The Brewers definitely don't go to the World Series, but they break the 26-year playoff drought. For me, Spencer Jones with a home run against Cubs, 2-0 Yankees. Man, why don't they trade for Spencer? I like Spencer Jones. Maybe he's a 4A player. I don't know.
The Yankees feel like a lot of their stars are going to be able to come back. They may sell a little bit.
I've liked that dude for a while, but I don't know. They apparently don't like him like I do. Anyways, so, you make that trade for Sabathia. That wasn't a move to go win a World Series. And revisionist history be damned. I'm telling you, it wasn't. That was a deal to get into the playoffs and break the 26-year playoff drought as a new owner, right? The Greinke deal in the offseason, that was a deal, and then they got Markham too. Those 2 deals were to potentially make a run in the postseason. Doug wasn't just trying to be in the playoffs. Doug was trying to get this team back to a World Series. That's what that was all about. And he gave up really good players and that Greinke deal that helped the Royals go to back-to-back World Series with the Brewers players, or with a player that the Brewers gave him, and then he turned around and traded for Big James Shields or Big Game James Shields and all those guys, right? Right now, right here, if you give up, you have 6 top 100 guys. Let's say you give up 3 top 100 guys of the 6 that you have, and you go all in. And you're like, to hell with it. We're going. Is the only way for that to be successful in your mind as a Brewers fan is they got to make the World Series. If they don't, then it was a bust of a trade, and it doesn't matter what happens with the players that were there or not. It's just not, it's over. Because I think as a fan, that's what you got to think of. Like, what is going to make this successful in my mind? If we get to the World Series, if we win the World Series, if the other players don't work out, is that what makes it successful? I want you to get your head there. I understand what happened before, where the Brewers have not had their prospects come back and bite him in these trades for the most part. There is a highly good chance that at least a couple of guys in whoever they deal are probably going to be in the league, big leagues, and might be pretty good. So we need to start getting in the mindset of, what is this going to make this right? If it's they got to not work for the other team in order for me to think we won it, well, then we're not probably going to win it. We're probably not going to win these trades. If it's we got to go to the World Series, even if we don't win. If we get there, I don't care if 3 of them become all-stars for the other team. It was worth it at the end of the day because we got to the World Series. That's what I want to know from you. For an all-in move that the Brewers potentially could do, what would make it a win for you for the Brewers? Nicolay Law Talking text line 414-677-1250. 414-677-1250. Don't forget as well, it is Wisconsin Sports Daily, live on Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky with you. Happy Friday. Sparky with you. Charlie Using, other side of the glass. Brewers Angels 3-game set this weekend. Trade deadline 5 o'clock Monday afternoon. The only show you're going to be listening to Monday afternoon from 2 to 5 is this one. We may have this thing staffed with like 5 people to make sure we're all over it. I'm really debating seeing if I can get somebody in here just to kind of co-host a former player or somebody to come in here and hang out and talk about all this stuff as it goes down on Friday. Because I got a feeling we could be super busy.
I was gonna say, I don't know if you'd be able to get any of like the beat writers or anything to come hang out.
But like
they're gonna be busy.
Yeah. That that I know, but like I don't know, like Paul Wagner if he's around. Cool. I don't know what the .com schedule are, but somebody just come hang out in here for a little bit and talk about it.
You just call him up, right? Matt Arnold. You think he'd come on and do it with us?
Could you imagine how cool that would be? Like we put Arnold over in like the smaller producer booth, right? We just have a video cam in there, whatever.
Turn on his mic when he makes a trade.
No, the mic just stays on the whole time, and we just check in during the show. Are you bleeping crazy? Okay, we got to dump that. Never mind. Let's go back. Yeah, it's not a bad deal. I don't know. I'll call you back. Okay, not much going on over there. Go back over there. Hey, Spark, you have phones? Phones are kind of dry. You got nothing really going on. Oh, I got a call. Hold on. Let me see. Oh, yeah. Hold on. I'll be right back. It's the Dodgers. Hold on. I'll be right back. And the Milwaukee Brewers have traded Jacob Mizorowski to the Dodgers. Oh, my God.
We'd be trailblazers.
Everybody's got a price, right? Everybody's got a price. All right. Asking you this. Is winning an all-in trade only done by making the World Series or winning the World Series in your mind? Or do the other players that the Brewers give up have to not do well in order for the Brewers to win the trade? I think we need to draw the line in the sand here because odds are they're going to do something pretty good, pretty significant, I think. And I just don't want this to be, well, we went all in. We got beat in the NLCS. The other players turned out to be, 3 all-stars. So they screwed that up and made a horrible trade. They never should have done it. In my mind, that's not what that's not what this should be. In my mind, if they go for it, right, that day is when you judge whether you're in or you're out on that deal. Like, nope, I don't think this is a good idea. I don't like giving up these guys for that guy, and I don't think that guy's good enough to get us there. So I don't like the deal, Sparky. I'm against it. Fine. But then if they go win the World Series, then it's going to be, all right, so I was wrong. I was wrong. It worked. It doesn't matter what. I don't, because I can hear it now in 5 years. Whoa, that Casey Mize deal was awful. They lost in the NLCS, and these other 3 guys ended up being all-stars for the Tigers. John in Hartford, you're up first here on the Nicolay Law Talking text line. What's up, John?
Hey, Sparky. How's it going?
What's going on?
Hey, one trade is not making the Brewers all in, even if it's Tarek Skubal. If you're not going to risk everything you have to win a World Series, you're not all in.
Well, how many moves do you think they need to make to be all in?
Well, I think all in to me says Skubal and the closer out of San Diego,
Mason Miller.
And you need some offense because unfortunately the Brewers haven't been the same really offensively since they went to Colorado and Vegas.
Yeah, Vegas screwed them up to a degree.
Home run.
Yeah, Vegas was not pleasant. I agree with you on that.
I think offensively they're trying to swing for the fences and not playing the game they were playing before that.
Well, that's philosophy, that's coaching, that's hopefully they get back to being, who they were before that. All right, John, thanks for the call. So John's like, you got to go get 3 players for it to be all in and trade like 1 million prospects.
I was going to say bye-bye to the farm system if that happens.
But that's legitimately all in.
That is for real all in.
That's for real all in.
I don't know if I want to go, that all in. I do want to make a big trade. I do want to have that type of move, but trading away everybody, again, I still think Jesus Medea is untouchable. Like, he's got to be there, and if you do that, you're getting rid of him at some point in those trades.
Wouldn't you say Micah Parsons is an all-in move?
Yeah, you traded 2 first-round picks. He's a guy that
that defense, was a Pro Bowl player, right? And Kenny Clark.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, That's an all-in move. We're going to go try and win the Super Bowl. Did it happen? No, because the guy got hurt. Now you're going to get another, right, the whole team, right. But now you're going to get another try at this because that wasn't a rental of Micah Parsons. That was, we're going to get him and sign him to an extension. You're not going to get Scooble and sign him to an extension with the Brewers.
Well, that's what GBWI on X commented on this post that we had here. He says, no, if you resign. So he's saying if you can resign Scooble, that makes it not a loss if you lose the World Series, despite making that all-in type of move.
Yeah, see that, and that's the one thing that we just don't know. Mile High Ty on the Dugout YouTube chat says they go all in and make the World Series. I'm cool with that. It's baseball. Takes luck to win it all too. Showing the fans and players they're taking the next step in the process matters a lot. Okay, I think that's very well said. First thing well said, it takes luck. It absolutely takes luck. I don't care what team you are, how good you think you are, there is some luck along the way. Look at the Dodgers last year. And you could be like, how did they get lucky? They got lucky that those guys all came back. They got lucky that those guys weren't gone for the year. Because if those pitchers had been gone for the year, you didn't get Glasnow back, you didn't get those guys back for the postseason, they aren't going to the World Series. It's not happening. So, yes, they lost him. Yes, they were able to hang out and do their thing until they got back. But they didn't lose him for the year. The Brewers lost Woodruff. The Brewers have lost Priester. The Brewers lost Zerpa. People remember him being on the team, NL Zerpa. They lost Zerpa. The Brewers have lost guys for the year. The Cubs, they've had a lot of guys too, and they've lost a couple for the year as well. But now what's happening in Chicago? Guys are slowly starting to come back here in the next couple of weeks, and they're going to be about as close to full strength as they've been probably since, spring training here in the next couple of weeks. So that's how it's working for Chicago. So there's definitely luck involved, no question.
But you can change your base level of luck. Like that's what your base level that you're starting at. Like the Dodgers, they're like 90%, and then to get to that 100%, that's where the luck comes in. So it's 10% luck, 90% that you're skilled. The Brewers could add a Tarek Skubal and raise that baseline value of how much luck will affect you.
Very well said. A baseline level of how much luck you really need in order to make it all work. And the other thing that Mile High said is showing the fans and players they're taking the next step in the process matters a lot. It definitely matters for the players. And it probably means more to the fans than the players. And in fact, Eric Kratz was on yesterday. We have that too, I believe, right? Eric Kratz was on Foul Territory yesterday. And he was, I think it was yesterday, maybe it was earlier in the week, but he was on talking about being in town for the Legends game, right? He was one of the guys that came on. And when he came in for that, he got to talking to a bunch of, the concession stand workers and everybody else around American Family Field. And when he was talking to everybody, he realized that everybody was like, I don't know what they're going to do, but we want to go to a World Series, damn it. So do whatever it is that you have to do. And Crash is like, hey, man, this is like life-changing stuff in Milwaukee if this team gets to a World Series. Like in 1982, they went to a World Series, and those guys are living legends right now in that town, and they didn't even win the World Series at this point. That's the crazy thing about the whole thing. And Kratz pointed out, too, he goes, man, I was there for like 4 months, and I got invited back to go play in a Legends game. Like, that tells you all you need to know. Like, they are desperate to see their team go. So, back to Mile High Ty's point, no question. And I don't know how much that matters to the owner of this baseball team because the fans are coming either way. They're going to show up whether you make a big deal at the deadline or if you don't. Like, if they don't do anything at the deadline, they sit on their hands. They keep everybody. They make no moves. People are still going in August. I'm going in August. Cub Scout, Pack Troop Night, whatever. So I know I'm going in August. So everybody's still going to go. We can be mad. We're going to be disappointed. Like here, man, typical crap, right? That's what it's going to be. Frustrated. People will still buy tickets. People will still go see them in the playoffs. We're not going to stop going.
I think it helps that they're still one of the best teams in baseball before the trade deadline. So you're still optimistic, even if they don't make that move. Again, you can just make yourself a little more optimistic as the Brewers and go make a big trade.
Sure. Trell, north side of Milwaukee. You're next on Wisconsin Sports Daily with me, Steve Sparky Pfeiffer. What's up, Trell?
Hey, what's going on, Sparky?
How are you?
I'm doing good, man. You know, Sparky, I got a complex answer to this question, man, because, of course, I want the Brewers to go, quote-unquote, all in. But some of the things I've been reading, I don't agree with them. I don't think if it takes my day to get Skubal, I don't want Skubal, if that's the case.
They're not going to trade him. Everybody is saying they will not trade Madej.
I mean, like, to me, the Brewers farm is so deep, and they got so many players. I believe they can get several acquisitions of players without giving them a day. And I'm even to the point that I honestly believe in Madej's future more than I do Pratt's. So, I mean, if it came down to me having to pick between one of those two, I definitely would do it. That's just me. So I would be fine with them, you know, kind of reconfiguring, going for it all, but at the same time doing some reconfiguration with their roster. Like another one, Garrett Mitchell. I love Garrett Mitchell. Before he got hurt and came back, he's getting back to the place he was. Because I like Laura so much, I would be willing to add Garrett Mitchell in a trade to bring something back that I feel as though, you know, is a different part of the team that can help us in the area. It's just a full of complexities that you can look at. Well, how you can redefine this team and still save some of your farm system. You can dig a hole up in it, but save some of the top guys who you feel as though, you know, they got a long future. Because I feel as though they should sign Madej to a 10-year contract.
I think
throw him out there like Cheerio.
That's
how I feel about him.
I think we're all on board with that idea, Terrell. Thanks for the call. As far as signing Madej to a deal, takes two to dance though. And you got to come up with a number that makes sense for both. And they have not signed anybody to a long-term deal that has not been in AAA yet.
Do you think that if they can't get this deal done with Madej, or like all of a sudden you're going a year or two in the future, people will be more okay with you trading him at that point?
Not if he's a superstar.
I mean, but if he just, like, let's say, again, AAA next year, that's where he's sitting for most of the year. You don't have him under contract, and a crazy deal comes across your table where James Wood and CJ Abrams. Let's say the Washington wants to sell, and they're giving you both those guys. Would you be more willing to trade him then?
Yeah, probably.
If you feel like there's no future for an extension.
Maybe. But again, even without an extension, you still have him for several years at the big league level without the extension. The Cooper Pratt thing, we're going to change. I had one topic at 3 o'clock. We're going to change the topic at 3 o'clock. At 3 o'clock, we always do Let's Talk About the Crew. At 3 o'clock, I want to have a conversation about what current major leaguers on this roster would you trade at the deadline to get better potentially in other areas. Trell just brought up he'd trade Garrett Mitchell.
I've been saying that.
People have been saying they would trade Sal Frelick, right? I just got to go out and get an idea of the major leaguers that are on this roster right now, of these guys that are here. Which of these guys would you be okay moving? Or maybe the better question is, which guys do you not want to see them move, right? No Turang, and I'm not going to be okay with that. Is there anybody else, once we get past Turang, as far as position players go, that you would not want to see them move? What about relievers? What about starters outside of Mizorowski and Harrison? Is there anybody else you would not want to see them move? We'll dive into that at 3 o'clock. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky here. It is Wisconsin Sports Daily. Steve Sparky Fifer with you. Charlie Usen producing today's show. Potawatomi Sportsbook, that's where you're going to want to be. Man, 2,000 square foot center screen, 30 different sporting events on at one time. Charlie describes it as colorful, kind of like the shirt he's wearing today.
Right.
You're watching Wisconsin Sports Daily on the Growth Law video stream on Instagram Live, X, and YouTube. You can do it at WI Sports Radio. Injured, Growth gets it. And colorful, yes. 2 levels of seating, high top tables, booths that hold like 8 people in them. Got big leather recliners to go along with it. You can reserve maybe that second floor, deal with Potawatomi, whether maybe it's for a business luncheon or whatever the case may be. That's always a possibility. And then they have the full menu at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. You got burgers, wings, wraps, salads, hot dogs, all-day brunch, homemade pastries and desserts every day at the Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. And 40 beers on tap, over a dozen different specialty cocktails. Check them out now at Potawatomi.com. Brewers come home next week to play back at American Family Field after this weekend series against the Angels. So you can hop on one of their shuttles to and from home Brewers games too. All you got to do is make a $5 wager or more inside the Potawatomi Sportsbook. When you do, ask them for your bracelet for the shuttle, and you're ready to roll. You can park underneath their big parking lot or in their big parking lot that's covered. And be all set. So if you get bad weather, whatever the case may be, like seemingly we have all the time now around here, your car is protected from hail and anything else that may happen.
Yeah, it's no better deal out there, and it's always easy. They always take care of you.
Yes, they always take care of you. All right, we only have like a minute or so left here in this segment. Coming up in the 3 o'clock hour, we are going to talk more about what major league player on this team, major league players on this team, would you say, no, I'm not trading these guys at the deadline. I don't care who's coming back. I'm not trading them. So could be Turang at this point, right? Is it Contreras with a year left on his deal after this year? Is he viewed as untouchable in your mind? Would you consider trading him? Jackson Chourio, I would think, would be a guy that you're not going to trade. I think a lot of us have not allowed ourselves to go to that spot of potentially trading away a big league player. Like the Cubs, for instance, there's several guys that they might trade here at the deadline, even though they're looking to add to get better. A guy like Seiya Suzuki may be involved in a deal going back for somebody else or the D-backs. And from a Brewers perspective, at least not on this show, we've not talked about these big league guys that potentially could be moved. So I want to hop into that discussion coming up next. Also, we'll get into the training camp, what happened in training camp. We have our Green and Gold update. At 4 o'clock, Matt LaFleur, we'll hear from him from earlier today. Plead the Fifth, brought to you by Habish and Rotier, coming up at 4:20. And then, of course, things Sparky missed towards the end of the show as we get ready for another weekend ahead. Tomorrow is August 1st, people. State Fair is next Thursday. This show will be at State Fair every weekday. The Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Thunder Nellis will be at State Fair every day, weekday of the State Fair, right outside the Expo building, right across from that milk jug house or whatever you want to call it, where you get the milk, all flavors of milk. We're right across from there. So come on down, hang out, come see us, and the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky with you.
Some shows talk about one team. Other shows barely talk sports. This show will talk Packers, Brewers, and Bucks. Every day. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily with Steve Sparky Pfeiffer on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
It is time again. Hour number 2. Don't forget, leadoff show comes up tonight, 7:30. Getting you ready for Brewers Angels game 1 there. Shane Drowan on the mound for the Milwaukee Brewers. 3 games set with them. Then you finally get a chance to come back home. Trade deadline Monday afternoon at 5 o'clock for Major League Baseball. Do we like it being on Monday? Would we like it better if it was at the end of August, potentially with a month to go? Is that too late? Do we like where the trade deadline is?
That's too late. I don't think that's I feel like now at this point in the season where you have such kind of like a dead period with some of these games and some of these teams with injuries and stuff, like the trade deadline gives you that nice little boost in the middle of it to get through that little bit of the lull. And then the end of the season, that end of August, September, I think you should reserve for the division races and people focusing on that versus a trade deadline.
Now the question I have here is, of the position players on this Major League Baseball team right now, of those guys that are on this team, which players are you saying no to? They call, they're like, oh, yeah, we'll give you Skubal, but we want Chourio back. Hey, yeah, we'll give you Skubal, but we want Turang back. Hey, we'll give you Skubal, but we want Contreras back. And again, I'm making this up. But I'm just saying, are there guys on this Major League roster right now that you're like, no, I'm not trading them? Because we know Frelick's been rumored to be involved, potentially going back the other way in potential deals. So instead of asking who would you be okay trading, I feel like the list is a lot shorter of those you would not be okay trading at this point. Nicolay Law Talking text line 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250 from the 414. So I guess Sparky's okay with trading Contreras and Chourio because he said the only position player he isn't trading is Turang. No, I was literally just throwing names out there. I have not made a statement one way or the other on who I want to keep or not keep. Then the 414 says the only position player I'm trading is Bowers, Frelick, and Hamilton. So other than those 3, he's not willing to trade anybody else on the roster, or she at this point, I guess. From the 414 on the current roster, no list, Miz, Contreras, Harrison, Lara, Vaughn, Pratt, Jackson, and maybes Henderson, Sal, and Mitchell. So no list. Miz, Contreras, Harrison, Lara, Vaughn, Pratt, Jackson, maybes Henderson, Sal, and Mitchell.
That feels like a big list to me.
That means he's not wanting to move off his big league roster, that he's fine with this roster and he don't want to screw it up, or she. Again, that's what sucks with text messaging. I don't know if it's a guy or a girl. Either way. Charlie, I'll ask you, who would be the no, you're not having that guy in any deal at this point?
I don't know. Maybe people think about untouchable different than I think about it. I think that when I say untouchable, that means for anybody that guy is untouchable. Like, you would not move him for Shohei Ohtani.
You have to remember, you are in a race. This is not the offseason. Mm-hmm. So you're talking about, okay, I move player X. Do I have the depth to replace player X in exchange for getting Skubal? Do I have the depth in order to replace player X, but I get Mason Miller, right? That's kind of what we're talking about here. So if you lose player X, Chourio's gone. Do you have the bat, or are you getting the bat in another deal to replace him and still be a better baseball team because you added the player that you got back for Chourio? That's what makes this a little bit more tricky in my mind.
And I think with the farm system that the Brewers have, they can either make another trade to fill most of these positions, or bring a guy up at some point and jump AAA, bring a guy up from AAA, and they can fill that position too. I think my only true untouchables are Jacob Misiorowski, Jackson Chourio, and you could sell me on Contreras just because I think he is so important to the pitchers and whoever you bring up.
So important.
Like, even if his bat isn't performing at the level that you always expect it to, he still was an all-star this season, not because of his bat, but because of what he is able to do to help these guys develop. So you can maybe sell me on Contreras. Outside of that, I think everybody else is available. I think everybody else, if you were to make the right trade, if it's for the right player, I think you can make anybody else available on this roster.
So you would trade Turang?
Yeah, I think for the right deal. It'd have to be, again, a great deal, and I think you have the pieces in the farm system.
Yes, you do.
To make a trade to get another second baseman, or just bring a guy up and have him play second base.
Midday, you're going up. Even though Midday's playing shortstop, but Midday, you're going up. You're going to learn how to play second base. Obviously, Miz, not trading him. Churio, nope, not trading him. You've got too much control left on Turang to move Turang. He's got 3 years, I think, left. I'm not trading Turang with 3 years left. So Turang stays. Contreras has 1 year left on his deal. If this is the offseason, I'd probably say, I'll listen. If Contreras has made it known to you that he's not signing an extension, he wants to go to free agency. If those are his intentions and you know it, regardless if we as fans know it or not, if that's the intent, then in the offseason, if they need to move him because of that, fine.
It's easier to overcome that type of loss in the locker room when you have some time to get over it.
Correct. I can, and you get Caro for an entire spring training to work with these pitchers. Furthermore, I would send Caro to all of my starting five in the winter to go bond and have burgers and talk about how this guy likes pitching in different situations and go hang out and meet the kids, meet the family, and start the bonding process.
I already have a relationship with Jacob Mizorowski.
Sure. Most of these guys he's probably caught at some point in the minors. But anyways, I can't do it in the middle of the season for Contreras. It would destroy everything. So Contreras has to be a no, even though the prospect of anybody else wanting him, like, a bigger market team that then could extend him with a big mega deal makes sense. I don't think I could. So Contreras stays. I'm not moving Contreras. I'm not attached to Luis Lara. I'm not attached to Cooper Pratt. Definitely not attached to Hamilton or Ortiz. I'm not attached to Garrett Mitchell. Now, by me saying I'm not attached doesn't mean I think they suck or they're never going to be anything. I'm just saying, looking at our farm system, looking at what we have more than enough depth pieces at those positions where they're going to be okay at this point. I'm not too concerned about it. Vaughn and Bowers, I think they could trade one of them. And I don't think that's crazy. I haven't seen anybody reporting that. Well, but I swear to God,
Blake
if they traded
as the all-time record holder for the Biloxi Shuckers, right. I'd be fine if you gave him an opportunity at first base and traded them both.
You've got to make a decision on Luke Adams too, because he's going to be Rule 5 eligible. So you've got to decide what you're doing with him anyhow. So if you traded Vaughn and said, Luke Adams, you're coming up and you're going to rotate with Bowers, I don't know how Luke Adams would do, but that's not the craziest thing in the world, especially if you've got a team out there that's looking for a first baseman. And I believe it's Arizona that's in desperate need of a first baseman right now. So maybe there's a deal there to be had with Arizona. And, and Vaughn goes that way. You get prospects back. You get a reliever back. I don't know. Whatever that looks like. Because you clearly don't want to play him every day anyhow. I mean, that's been made very clear by Pat Murphy that they don't want to play him that way. And you listen to Tim Allen on the Potawatomi Sportsbook postgame show, and he says, well, his numbers are the way they are because of how Pat Murphy's playing them. And I'm guessing Pat Murphy would agree with what Tim Allen is saying. So, okay. So if you don't think he's a full-time player that can play every day, and you think his numbers would suffer if he played every day, then by all means trade him. And then let Jake Bowers be the everyday first baseman. Let Lara play every day in right field. And then if you're keeping Sal can, rotate in there if need be. And then let's move forward with what we have. Vaughn's got another year left on his deal, right? So Bowers is going to be a free agent. So there is something to be had, I think. If you decided to move Andrew Vaughn, you could potentially get something back.
I think you could.
So I think both of those guys, for me, I would be open to trading both of those guys as well. I don't think that would be the end of the world. Maybe I like Andrew Vaughn more than they like Andrew Vaughn, but I think Vaughn would be fine.
What about relievers? You brought that up earlier. I think Steve Phillips yesterday, he might make a reappearance on Plead the Fifth, just because I need to hear that clip again. He said Aaron Ashby.
No. They're going after Luke Weaver, so they desperately are in need of another guy, if nothing else, just to give some of these guys breaks. You're going to get DL Hall back here shortly. So that will help that bullpen too going forward. I don't believe I have an untouchable in the bullpen. I think everybody can be had. But again, providing that you have a backup plan, right? So like, okay, you don't get Skubal and you don't get Casey Mize from Detroit, but you get Kenley Jansen. And he comes over in a deal from the Tigers, and now you feel okay moving on from a different reliever. And Kenley Jansen goes in the back end of that pen with McGill and Uribe to be your back three in the back end of that pen. Okay, well, that makes sense. You trade one of your relievers, but you have Cameron Wagner, who just got to AAA, who's throwing 100 miles an hour, and you feel like he is going to be a key addition down the stretch for this team, and you're going to put him into the bullpen and let him throw, fireballs at opposing hitters. Okay, right? That makes sense. But to me, anytime you move somebody off a major league roster, you better have an alternate to where that player is going to be as good, if not better, than the guy you're trading. Because if you do not have an alternate plan and you're hoping that somebody else works out, then we should not be making that deal at this point, Charlie.
You just feel so confident about a lot of the minor league guys, at least I do, that I think, a lot of them have potential to be better. And I think you have the pieces to, if you don't want those guys to be at the major league level, trade those guys for MLB caliber players that are going to be better. Like, I don't think it's going to be that hard for this Brewers team to be able to make that work.
Let's see here. Phil at Raised Grain. Made. Trade whoever else you need to, says Phil at Raised Grain. Scotty Tiffany. Untouchable is Contreras. I'll take it a step further and say he should be signed before Terang. Charlie, you check the Dugout YouTube chat over there because I've not been able to follow that. There's a bunch in there that you can check out too. From the 414, if a Skubal trade gives you even half of the excitement and success that the Sabathia trade did, it is absolutely 100% worth it. Just retain Fisher and Madej. Yeah. Again, makes good sense. I would love to know the internal conversations of the Brewers front office on Andrew Fisher. Because if the internal conversation is like it is from these experts on the outside of why they won't put him in the top 100 and why they're not as sold on him as the Brewers fan base is, maybe they will trade Andrew Fisher because of strikeout concerns, which
he's one of the hottest names in minor league baseball. You can take advantage of that.
Will be devastated if they trade Fisher at this point. Absolutely freaking devastated. If they trade Fisher, I may go get some of that face paint and wear it for an entire show in honor of Andrew Fisher's time.
That would be awesome.
I think I would. Yeah,
that would be.
You could paint it on, right, all the way down the cheeks. Yeah. I would do it for a whole show. Trade Fisher. That's what I
used to do. Just drag it across and
down. Right. Yeah, I would totally do it for a whole show. Don't trade Andrew Fisher. Please, for the love of God, do not trade Andrew Fisher. All right, what do you got in the Dugout YouTube?
If we head over there, Brenton says, I would be cautious about who the Brewers trade off their major league team. We all remember the Hader deal. That being said, Terrain, Jackson Chourio, and Contreras should be off limits. And later on, he added that Jacob Mizorowski would be on that list too.
Yeah, Mizorowski, nobody's trading Mizorowski. That one I know for sure. From the 414, on the current roster, no list. I think I read that already. From the 414, I do agree with Trell. He made some good points. It's not just minor leaguers you could add to a deal. Sproat, Drowan, Frelick, Mitchell, Lara, all guys that you could add. Yeah.
Sure.
And I think people think that, they signed Lara, so they're not going to move him. Well, they signed Pratt, they're not going to move him. Maybe that's true. But in my mind, that makes them more valuable to a team that's going to get them because they're signed to long-term, super affordable deals. And if somebody looks at Lara and says, that's my leadoff guy for the next decade, I'll take him. Like, I got power everywhere else on my field. I don't need power in the corner spot or the center field spot wherever I play Lara. And my leadoff spot's taken care of. Yes, Brewers. I will take Lara off your hands.
You got half the league in such a weird spot right now where they're all kind of teetering on either deciding to compete or are you trying to sell? And I think if you were to put a Luis Lara, put a Cooper Pratt into one of those trades, you can make a team go from teetering to just selling. You can get them to give you a lot if you can give them a player that says, hey, you can compete next season still and the years after, because he's already at the major league level producing right now, and you have him locked down for the rest of your future. Like, that's a great deal to have for a team that maybe needs to decide pretty soon what they want to do for the rest of this season.
All right, what do you got over there in the Dugout YouTube chat?
All right, if we head over there, and Constant says maybe they should just leave Joey O in LA when they come back home. I would say he's a guy that a lot of teams, probably not the Angels, would be semi-interested in. Again, I keep putting the Nationals out there looking at a guy like Joey Ortiz. I think that could be interesting. Mile High Tie says shipping Vaughn out is iffy when Bauer's toe even seems fine.
Yep, agreed. But again, if you look at Bauer's, go look month by month, folks. It's not as sexy as you think it is if you go look at his month by month breakdowns. And Charlie will tell you, well, his OPS is good. I don't care about his average. Fair, fine. And he's got some pop, right? And that's the one thing that Vaughn has been lacking this year is that pop. Now, it's starting to come around here in the last week or so. We're starting to see that power come back. And that's what will make Andrew Vaughn really, really good if he starts barreling up the ball and driving the ball and that slug kit's going up again. Then we're good. From the 262, the Lance McCullers trade showed the Brewers are looking more for a back-end starter than a front-end starter. Bringing in a consistent bat to help put up more runs could give our starting pitching a little bit more breathing room when they head out there.
But it doesn't say that because they put McCullers right into the bullpen. Like, I don't think that was their plan with that trade. I think they were trying to find a guy to give some of their other relievers a break for a period of time because they knew they could get him for relatively cheap, an undrafted free agent and some cash.
Correct. Yeah. And I got one here from Justin in North Carolina. Gentlemen, I'm wrong about every trade. You guys, I know I live in North Carolina, so I develop a bond with these guys in low A. I've been wrong on the Yofri Rodriguez deal, but I think I'm right on the Fielder trade. Justin in North Carolina. Who knows about Jaden Fielder? I mean, he's a ways away yet. Odds are that he's not going to be Prince, right? Very rarely is the kid as good as the dad, if not better. Ken Griffey Jr., that's an example of the kid being better than the dad, even though the dad played in the big leagues for quite some time.
Pretty damn solid, yeah.
Right. But that's not always going to happen for sure. Agbayani just got traded in that deal with the Twins. Mm-hmm. And I didn't realize that Benny Agbayani, who the former outfielder for the Mets, that's his dad. Dude, I loved watching Benny Agbayani play for the Mets.
So that name does not sound
really? Oh, dude, yeah. Dude, I loved watching him play for the Mets.
Out over there.
I had no idea. I should have put how many of that people have that last name are there? I have no idea. But I think that's some of what happens is you fall in love with the dad and you hope the kid's as good as the dad. Like Michael Jordan's kids stunk, right? They weren't that good.
Not good. How do you remember it?
I said I liked watching him play. That's what I'm saying. I liked watching him play.
He had one really good season.
Yeah.
2000, but outside of that, he was not good.
Yep. No, I liked watching him play. From the 414, Sparky, would you trade Andrew Fisher, a second prospect, and Glasser, Sproat, or Crow for Yordan Alvarez and Josh Hader? Yes.
Yeah, I think I'm comfortable with that. Again, I think as long as you can make the right trade, and especially like that trade where you have Yordan Alvarez currently leading the AL and MVP voting because he's going to be the Triple Crown winner at this rate. Yeah, of course I'm trading Andrew Fisher, sure.
And Alvarez you have for 2 more years after this one.
And so Josh Hader back, why not? Sure up that bullpen.
Yeah, and Josh Hader would be another one that now you have Hader, Uribe, and McGill in the back end. Yes, I would do that in a heartbeat. The problem is you're going to have to take Fisher out. Actually, check that. That deal would probably have to be Pena and Fisher or Madej and Fisher and another prospect and one of those pitchers.
Yeah.
At least to get Alvarez and Hader, you're talking 5 or 6 guys.
Yeah,
at least.
I think I'm okay with that. Pena, Fisher, one of these outfield prospects that everybody keeps putting into stuff. Adam Shesky, Ragsdale, Payne, one of those 3. And then, give them their pick of those 3 guys, those 3 pitchers. Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Oh, Yordan Alvarez would be a beast.
That would be so
cool. I mean, that would be great. Scotty Tiffany says, untouchable is Contreras. I'll take it a step further and say he should be signed before Terang. We agree. Number one, he has to be signed before Terang because he's got a year left on his deal.
Well, he doesn't have to, but
Yes, he won't be here in 3 years.
Sign Bryce Turang now, though, if they
With
wanted
3
to.
years left on his deal, no way.
If they wanted to,
not that. They
I'm
don't.
just saying that he doesn't have to.
No, I understand. I understand. Technically, literal guy. I understand that. But yes, no, Scotty Tiffany, I'm with you. I would obviously sign William Contreras to a long-term deal too. I would have already had this done. They're talking about making Tucker Kraft the highest paid tight end in the NFL. He hasn't put a full dominant year on film yet. He was on his way to doing that last year, right? But what are we doing? Well, we're going to project that he can stay healthy every year and we're going to pay him like it. Well, then, by all means, can we project that Contreras is going to be the top catcher in baseball for the long, long time to come going forward? Right? He's got a great arm. I think he calls a pretty good game. Seems like he works with pitching staffs fairly well at this point. He hits the ball well. To me, it's a no-brainer to make Contreras a top 2, top 3 paid catcher in baseball. No,
make it pretty easy. And again, do it before some of these younger catchers that have started to kind of show out a little bit this season, these past couple of years, start getting paid first.
Right. Yes, I'm with you. All right, take a quick time out. Come back on the other side. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. And if you're looking for college where you can excel in the classroom and on the field, I got your place. Bryant and Stratton College's Wauwatosa campus. You can compete in the NJCAA Division II athletics with more than 20 men's and women's teams to choose from. Keep playing the sports you love while earning your associate degree in business, healthcare, criminal justice, or digital marketing. Now, this is very important. Athletic scholarships are available for those who qualify. That's right. Athletic scholarship money is available for you. And I think Charlie and others will tell you athletic scholarship money is something you should start caring about at about 10.
It's pretty hard to come by. Yeah.
At about 10, start thinking about how can I start saving myself money for college? Unless your parents are loaded and can pay for your college. Most can't. You're going to have to figure out how you're going to pay for it sooner rather than later. So you're not still paying for it when you're like 45. Right? You want to get that done and taken care of. So why not go this route? Bryant and Stratton College, athletic scholarships available for those who qualify. Visit bryantstratton.edu and discover how Bryant and Stratton College is built different for you. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky with you. Where you go? It's Wisconsin Sports Daily. Sparky, Charlie Usen. What do y'all got going on this week? What do you got going on tonight? Where are you going to go eat? How about Wendy's? The Minions really want to impress the new big boss, Wendy's. So they cooked up some fun chaos for the fans. Say hello to the Minions and Monsters meal, featuring one of 4 unique collectibles. New Banana Frosty Swirl, your choice of a Big Bacon Classic or spicy chicken sandwich, plus a small fry. It's time to go bananas over this exclusive Wendy's experience. Limited time only. And I'm telling you, where you want to go, $1 Frosties as well at Wendy's. Be sure to go check that out. Coming up, we're going to get to Charlie's Sounds of the Day, too. We'll get to our training camp day review coming up at 4 o'clock during the Green and Gold update. We had a thing scheduled for 2:40, and we didn't get to it, and I wanted just to get to it here now if that works for Charlie. You good with that?
Yeah, that's fine with me.
So the Bucks have been connected with Peyton Watson this entire time. And there is new information that came out today, not only concerning that, but another player that apparently the Bucks have checked in with as well. So right now, according to Michael Scotto of Hoops Hype, Bucks, Hawks, Clippers remain sign and trade suitors for Watson. The Nuggets are asking for a first-round pick and one notable player. Key point here. None of those teams have offered up a first-round pick in return for Watson. Remember, it was 2 ones originally. Mm-hmm. Then they dropped it down to one. And none of these teams are offering a first, including your Milwaukee Bucks, are not offering a first as of right now.
Why would they? If nobody else is, you might as well keep trying to drive the price down.
Correct. Now, the Bucks would consider absorbing, look up this dude here for me, Zeke Nnaji, Nnaji, in a potential Watson deal. He is making some decent money, it appears, for the next 2 years.
Last season, Zeke Nnaji played 52 games, started 4 of them. That was 12 minutes per game. He averaged 3.7 points, 2.6 rebounds, and 6 assists.
How big is he?
He is a 6'10" forward.
6'10", left on his contract, $7.4 million this year, $7.4 million on a player option in the 27 season at age 27. So you're taking back about $15 million in salary. They'll take that back. Plus they'll take Watson back to make this work. So you have that going on. Then another note on the Bucks. They're one of 4 teams, the Pelicans, the Bulls, the Mavericks, and the Bucks have expressed sign and trade interest in Benedict Mathurin.
Interesting. I don't know, if I love that. I think the fact that he was already moved once as a player, I'm not in love with him. I don't know. He seems like a guy who's going to be a really good scorer. He's going to continue to be a really good scorer. Is he going to do anything else for you?
What position does he play?
Shooting guard.
Why do we need more guards?
You don't. He can play small forward too.
He's 6'5".
He can get up there.
He's 6'5". Now, again, I liked him coming out of college. I liked him in spurts for the Indiana Pacers as well before he ended up as part of the Clippers. If you look at his years in the league, okay, the most games he's played in a season because of injuries or whatever was his rookie year. He played 78 games. He averaged 16.5 points his rookie year in 22-23. Then the next amount of big year that he had for games played was 72 games in the 24-25 season. He averaged 16 points, 5 boards per game to go along with 2 assists a game, about a half a steal a game. He shot 83% from the line that year, 34% from 3, 45% from the field. The last 2 years, let's see here, in 25-26, so that would be last year, I guess it was, he played 28 games for the Clippers, 26 games for the Clippers, and he played 28 games for the Indiana Pacers. He averaged 17.5 points per game, 5.5 rebounds, 2.5 assists a game, almost a steal per game, Shooting percentages, 31% from three. That's not very good. 43% from the field. He averaged about 5.5 makes of 12.5 takes there. He's averaged about 12 shots per game in his career. So if you bring Mathurin in that deal, then Rollins is gone for sure in one of these deals, because then there's nowhere for him to play. Because then you're saying Braden Burries is your point guard at 6'3", and then Mathurin is your shooting guard at 6'5", and then you have to make up the decision of, what the rest of your roster is going to look like. I don't think they move for Mathurin and Watson. I can't imagine they do both those deals.
I don't think you have enough for both those deals.
Yeah, I don't know if you make enough. I mean, if you make both those deals, then Mathurin's the 2, Watson's the 3, and then figure out your 4 and 5. Miles Turner obviously is the 5, and then figure out what you want to do at the 4. The other thing that I found interesting was that Jericho Sims potentially could be moved, and the Lakers are an interested party in Jericho Sims.
That would make me so sad. But also, you'd go play with Luka, so I'd be happy for Jericho Sims. I feel like that's a good spot for a center to be in if you're playing with Luka Doncic.
A lob center, especially.
Yeah, I can see if there's value. Why not trade him? He's not really a player that right now you think is probably a part of your future unless he has some kind of breakout season, which he might. You never know. It's Jericho Sims. He's awesome.
Right.
But at the same time, yeah, if you can get value out of that, I think that's something worthwhile. I think the Clippers may sit a little bit on a guy like Benedict Mathurin just until all this Kawhi Leonard stuff blows over, because right now the Raptors, there's news about that and them not really wanting to take this deal now that all this other stuff is coming out, that the Kawhi aspiration deal could go on through 2027.
And there's apparently a Rhode Island soccer team now involved in all of this.
Yes, it's getting very convoluted, and Kawhi's at the center of it. And we had talked about how, it feels like it's just going to be Steve Ballmer and the Clippers that are going to be investigated. And I had said, Kawhi Leonard's involved in this. He knew what was happening. This isn't all going under behind his nose. Well, he's going to have to get questioned and involved.
We don't know. We don't know what he knew and what he didn't know. We have no idea. Yeah, the assumption would be that he would know, obviously, but they got to prove all of it. I mean, you could say, well, common sense says he probably knew. Sure, but it doesn't matter what your common sense tells you. You have to prove it, Charlie.
It just feels like they're also finding a lot of evidence that there would be no way that he didn't know. Right. His name is involved in all of these things, and he's putting his signature down stuff. People don't just willy-nilly sign things. You can't at that level, especially if you have agents and people around you that are influencing that.
Agreed. Charlie, use it over there. Steve Sparky Pfeiffer with you. The lesson to be learned here on this Bucks conversation is they're not done. It appears they're going to make another significant move to add another significant, relatively young player to what they have already. And then on top of all of that, they're going to move some other pieces off of this roster. So the roster you currently see probably is going to look, 3, 4, 5 players different maybe by the time we get to the tip-off on opening night from what it is right now.
It could be. I think it's going to be really exciting. I think there's not a lot of teams that at this point in the offseason are going to be as active as the Milwaukee Bucks are. It's really a moldable roster right now that you have a lot of pieces that you can make work, or you can go in with the roster you have right now, and I think it's still going to be a fun squad to watch.
Where did Braden Burries play his college ball?
Tennessee. Or no, that was Nate Ahmed, Arizona.
Yeah. Where did Mathurin play his college ball?
Arizona.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how this whole thing plays out for the Bucks. Not that Burries and Mathurin ever played together, obviously not. But it's just fun little nugget there. You have an Arizona starting
backcourt. It's always a nice little icebreaker when you have two guys that need to meet each other and maybe sell something.
You add Mathurin and you add Watson.
Again,
Two
I
Burries.
just don't think you're going to be able to do that.
And then you see what happens with Ament. You still have Miles Turner at that point. I mean, you assume Kuzma gets off in this deal somewhere. He goes one of these places, right? You assume AJ Green is gone in one of these deals. You assume KPJ is gone in one of these deals.
Potentially Ryan Rollins.
Potentially maybe Ryan Rollins, especially if you make both deals, you're definitely going to have a potential to unload both of them. Like I said, there could be significant change to this roster before you get to opening night. Can you get this team good enough to win 35, 40 games to where they're sniffing 500? Could you get this team to that point the first year after you lose the heart and soul of the organization? Can you get it turned around that quickly, John Horst?
Or at least just stay competitive.
That's a gigantic ask. When you don't have, or you didn't have any assets when you had Giannis, you had literally like no picks whatsoever, to then turn it around, get some additional picks in this whole thing, and be able to go out there and field a semi-competitive team versus bouncing back the year after Giannis with 18 wins and being god-awful and everybody going, what are you doing? To make it maybe, be a 35 or 40 win team that year one, and you're giving all these young pieces to Taylor Jenkins, who clearly showed he could do it in Memphis, and now you're giving them that. Now, the one thing they don't have is Ja Morant, right? They don't have that explosive, oh my gosh,
Jaren
player.
Jackson Jr., a defensive player of the year. Like
you don't have that type of talent.
No.
So, and that's something they're gonna have to figure out how to do going forward. But you could have a lot of really good talent.
Do you think John Horst feels he needs to make a move right away to show that he's active after the Giannis trade? Or like, do you think he gets a grace period from Bucks fans if he decide, okay, like let's take a moment to reset, let's see what we have, let's let these guys play a little bit together, see if we got something? Or do you think fans will be mad if he does that?
I don't think it matters what the fans think. I think the only thing that matters right now is what does the ownership
would be mad?
What is the ownership pushing for him to do? Is the ownership going, look, we got to get back to 40 wins as soon as possible. Like, you do what you got to do. Because again, we're talking about Mathurin in that backcourt, right? But it's going to be Tyler Hero to start the year in that backcourt. So Mathurin essentially could be a sixth guy off the bench to come off the bench and be that scorer behind Burries and Hero if they allow Burries to start, which, if we're being honest, why wouldn't you allow him to start if you think he's the future point guard? Why are we screwing around with anybody else at that point guard position if Burries is going to be the answer? So yeah, I knew I was going to do this to myself. I'm trying to talk myself in and getting excited about this team. Why? Because I love them, and that's how this goes. And I know I'm destined to get my heart broken. I know. I'm aware. I know y'all are going to be like, Sparky, you're getting your hopes up too high. The Wisconsin Sports Radio Network is proudly outfitted by Burkhardt Sporting Goods, our official apparel partner. Outfit your team or company with custom apparel today at BSG 1881. BSG 1881. Ram Northside, you're next on Wisconsin Sports Daily. What's up, Ram?
Sparky?
Hi.
I will say this.
All right.
I love the Mathurin pick.
Oh.
He's explosive. He's a scorer, and we don't have that.
Nope.
So, if you're going to start anywhere after Giannis, you got to decide, like, I just think in the NBA, your backcourt has to average about 45 to 50 points a game.
Agreed.
So that, now, I don't know about Brandon Barry playing point guard in the NBA as a rookie, so I don't know who will be the backup, because they're going to move him in slowly.
Hey, hold on. Before I forget. Do you have the Brandon Jennings sound over there?
I'm clipping it right now.
You have got to hear the Brandon Jennings sound. Speaking of rookies playing point guard in the NBA, this year I was livid when I saw this today on social media. But anyway, sorry, I sidetracked you. Go ahead.
Oh, you're fine. Fine.
Go ahead.
And I don't know. It's like the physicality of what it takes to play point guard. That's a very important. It's like the quarterback on the floor. And you got to be creative. And, you're going from playing like 35 games to 82 games.
Yeah, you get tired.
So the rookie wall is real. So the question is, like I said, I don't know who will be the backup. But are you also saying you don't think Tyler Hero will be here?
Tyler Hero won't be here at the All-Star break. I think Tyler Hero gets traded at the deadline.
I say he'd be going before the beginning of the season. And then the other thing I love what you and Charlie saying, I want to say, the Bucks ownership and a certain part of the fan base, they're not with this playthrough and win 25 games. They're not having that. So that 35 to 40 game, which you said at 10th or the 9th spot, making moves. That's what I see, Sparky.
Yep, I like
that. And I don't think Taylor Jenkins is going to come in a situation and he's losing.
Correct. I think that's the target. Thanks for the call. I do. I think that 35 to 40 win target is probably the goal going into the season of, man, we get somewhere between 35 and 40 this first year after Giannis. That's probably a pretty good success at this point. All right. Well, here you have it. You're going to have it.
I'm going to have it.
You're going to have it. All right. So it'll be in Charlie Sounds of the Day. Coming up next, it's Wisconsin Sports Daily, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky here. It is Wisconsin Sports Daily. Steve Sparky Father with you. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Make everybody's Friday even happier. Head on over. Donate. Be a part of Operation Valley Strong. Help Wisconsin. Let's help our friends in the Fox Cities recover from the tornado that ravaged their houses and businesses. Today and tomorrow between 7 a.m. and 7 p.m., please make food and supply donations at the Green Bay East Festival Foods or the Festival Foods in Oshkosh. Plus, if you pull up, you get there, they have a QR code. You can scan that and donate right from your phone if you want to make a monetary donation. And if you don't want to do that, you're old school. Like, I'm not doing that with my phone, Sparky. Cool. They'll take cash. They'll take checks. They'll take all of that, and all the money goes right directly to the United Way Fox Cities Fund. So again, United Way Fox Cities gets all the money that is donated today and tomorrow until 7 o'clock. Green Bay East Festival Foods or the Festival Foods in Oshkosh. It's Operation Valley Strong. Find out more details at wisportsradio.com. Again, Operation Valley Strong, Green Bay East Festival Foods or the Festival Foods in Oshkosh. All of those cases work. And of course, we are way behind, and we're not going to have time for Charlie Sounds of the Day either. Do you have that other piece of audio?
I got the one clip. That's all we need.
All right, let's go.
All right. So this is Brandon Jennings on Club 520, Jeff Teague's podcast, and he was discussing his agent and his mom messing up his chance to re-sign with the Bucks.
Going back to that situation, it's like, that's the reason why I left my agent, Bill Duffy, at the time. Because he didn't tell me that Milwaukee had offered me. Yeah. Milwaukee. So the beginning of that year, right? That year, Milwaukee had offered me 40 for 4. Damn. Right. And my agent didn't tell me. So what happened was, and my agent didn't tell me. And then the GM,
what's my God?
He told John Hammond. Yeah, right. John Hammond. He told my Under Armour rep, he was like, man, can you believe this kid didn't take 40 for 4? I'm like, and I had no idea that they had offered me. Damn. So then come back, my agent was like, yeah, he was like, yeah, I don't think 40 for 4 is it. Like, we should go for the max. So my mom and him was pushing the max. And, it kind of my relationship with my mom too, and agent, because it was like, well, y'all doing behind my back and I don't even know. So I didn't sign going into, I'm playing the game and it was too late to sign. So I had to play that whole year in Milwaukee without being, without, I wanted to resign. So that's why the situation looked so bad when I left, because it's like, well, I wanted to sign, but it was too late for me to sign because I didn't know they offered me.
I saw that today and I was beside myself. I could not believe it. But can we just look at this big picture? If he signs 4 at 40, you do not get Chris Middleton, because you got Middleton in that deal. And the reason you got Middleton in that deal was legitimately the only reason was it was the only salary on the Pistons roster that they could slot in to make the deal work. Dumars did not want to trade him, but it was the only way to get the deal done for Detroit to get Jennings. And Hammond's like, we're going to do this. It's got to be him. So they took him, and then Middleton turned out to be great. Who knows how different history is if you end up with Brandon Jennings and Giannis versus Chris Middleton and Giannis and what that looks like. Could you imagine Jennings running point, throwing lobs up to Giannis and all that stuff? I mean, that would have been highly entertaining potentially.
It could have been, but also, I don't know. I think you look at what happened and Brandon Jennings, the kind of folk legend he became with that Bucks championship too, as a fan of the Milwaukee Bucks.
Charlie,
like, he's still getting run on podcasts like this, on national media more so, and he fell off with the Pistons.
Would you be talking to your mom? Had your mom pulled that? Oh my goodness. Like,
no, I don't think so.
He wouldn't be talking for a long damn time after that. And Bill Duffy, that's an agent that's very well known, very well respected, pulling that crap. See, again, we go back to Giannis and his agents and who's making the power play and who's doing all the talking. There you go. There's another example.
We'll
Brandon Jennings
Giannis will be throwing his agent under the bus in 10 years.
Go find it on social media. Brandon Jennings and Dwight Howard went at it. I think it was yesterday about Jennings versus Howard in a one-on-one matchup and who would win. It's unbelievable. Both of them were yelling and screaming at each other. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily. Up next, Green and Gold update. Talk about training camp and hear from Matt LaFleur.
Some shows talk about one team. Other shows barely talk sports. This show will talk Packers, Brewers, and Bucks. Every day. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily with Steve Sparky Pfeiffer on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
All right, third and final hour, Wisconsin Sports Daily. Still to come. Wisconsin Sports Wrap-Up from 5 until 6 o'clock tonight. The leadoff show, I'll be hosting that before the Brewers and Angels game 1. With the Angels and Brewers. Shane Drowan on the mound tonight from that one. We'll do that from 7:30 to 8:30 this evening. So looking forward to that. Play the Fifth, brought to you by Havish and Rotier. Comes up in about 20 minutes. Your chance to nominate somebody just to shush it up. Quit talking. You're embarrassing yourself. We'll do that coming up at 4:20. At 4:40, things that Sparky missed. Normally we follow the money with Austin Herdina. He's got the day off, returning from a cruise that he was on in the last week or so. So he'll return back to his Friday normal spot coming up next Friday. But it is 4 o'clock, and regardless of day of the week, we do this.
It's time for your green and gold update on Wisconsin Sports Daily, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network with Steve Sparky Pfeiffer.
All right, Matt LaFleur talked earlier today before practice. We'll tell you what happened at practice once we play a couple of these LaFleur clips. So LaFleur talked about wanting a faster tempo being a point of emphasis for the offense this year.
Yeah, I think that was definitely a point of emphasis this offseason, just trying to get in and out of the huddle a little bit quicker. I think anytime an offense approaches the line of scrimmage, the faster they approach the line of scrimmage, the more pressure it puts on the defense. So, that was a big point of emphasis.
Coach back here, Sparky, Wisconsin Sports Radio Network coach. Whose fault would it be that you weren't getting out of the huddle faster last year? Who would you put the blame on for that, coach?
He's going to say himself.
You're
probably.
Damn right. You're damn right it's himself. Yes, that's on you. That ain't on Jordan. That ain't on Josh Jacobs or Christian Watson or Belton or Tom. No, that's on you. You're the play caller. You need to make up your mind quicker and get the damn play in quicker. That's on him. He controls that. Do you know what I'd love to see?
What's that?
Because, again, you start talking about no huddle. Jordan Love was like number 1 in the league in no huddle. Let Jordan Love run some no huddle every game. Not in the same spot every game, but pick. Sometimes opening drive, run no huddle all the way down the field. Let him call the whole first drive. See what happens, right? Do it week 1 against Minnesota. See if Flores is ready for that, the defensive coordinator. Then maybe you play the Bears and you run no huddle, drive right out of halftime. See if the Bears is ready for that. Run it randomly in a second quarter. But let Jordan Love run it. And if Jordan Love runs it well on that first drive of the game, 2 drives later, Jordan, your turn. Let's go. Go do it again. Really? Yep. Go do it again. Let's see what happens. Just see. That will keep the defense off guard because they're not going to know when you're going to decide to pull it out of your back pocket and use it. And if you're effective and if you're good at it, that changes everything versus waiting for LaFleur to get the play call in.
Well, and if it doesn't work out, then you can go back to controlling the playbook and you can tell all the people like me that have been saying that you need to let Jordan Love have more control of the offense, that they were wrong and that you can just go back to doing what you were doing. And then we'll trust you even more then. Like, I think no matter what, like we talked about with Malik Willis playing well or not playing well in Miami, no matter what, it looks good for Matt LaFleur. Like if you let Jordan Love go out there and do this, in the end, Matt LaFleur will look better on the other side.
Correct. 100%. All right. The big news of the day before practice, and even at practice, was Tucker Kraft is back, y'all.
Just saw Tucker Kraft biking with his helmet. Is he off the PUP list today?
Has that been confirmed? Okay, sorry. I was in meetings, so I was waiting on that one. But yes, thank you, Jason. Good assist.
Matt, going back to Eagle Eye Andy noticing that in the photo, what is your plan then now that he's going to be out there? What approach are you going to take with Tucker?
it'll be no team. So we're just going to kind of, get them back ingrained into the process and into individual. What's great is when they do come off pup, then now he can partake in some of the walkthrough periods, especially that we do in the evenings. So just to get them back hearing the call, lining up, and then just going through that.
It's nice to have him back. Absolutely nice to have him back. They're going to pay him eventually, and we'll see where that goes from there. He is really, really good, right? Really, really good. Now, how good will he be coming off of that injury? Don't know. We'll find out. But he's still better. Say he's 80%. That's still better than everybody else in that tight end room at this point, right? So that's going to be an improvement over what you had at the end of the year when you didn't have Tucker Kraft in that tight end room. And then hopefully you keep him healthy for the entire season. So that is obviously a positive, having Tucker Kraft back out there. So be very, very happy about that, having him out there. Some of the other things that got brought up to him was Anthony Belton, who, again, I think everybody looks at as potentially the starting right guard.
Yeah, I think there's been a lot of great moments, and then there's certainly some things like most players that you got to clean up, and he's a young guy, so I would expect him to just, the more reps he gets, the better he will be.
Agreed. And he's a massive human being. That helps too, Charlie, when you're a massive human being.
It does help. Sometimes in some situations it doesn't help, though. I think there's some guys that end up being a little bit slower because they're massive human beings. Other guys that get hurt a lot because they're massive human beings. I think there's a lot of disadvantages, and if you don't know how to control your body, if you don't know how to play within your limits still, even though you're a giant guy that could probably crush everybody, you have to understand that. And I think that's some of the stuff that Matt LaFleur is looking for in the progression with Anthony Belton. Not just that you're huge, but how do you use your hugeness to your best advantage?
Correct. Here's Matt LaFleur talking about kicking live field goals, when that's going to happen.
Will we finally see some live field goals today?
No.
When might that happen?
Most likely on, what is it, Sunday?
So Sunday's when they're going with pads, it sounds like. So that's when you'll see it.
I think Monday they were saying.
Oh, Monday's pads, not Sunday?
Practice. Okay. That's what Andy Herman had tweeted.
So did you see what they did today?
I did not.
Stieg, you're gone. It's been fun. You didn't see that earlier today?
No, I didn't see that.
I got the official email here. At 3:36. The Packers signed long snapper Kale Damitis.
Oh, Krieg, you mean? I was like, who's
Krieg.
Steve?
Yeah, sorry, Krieg. Yes. And Caden Prather also signed. And then Lenny Krieg is released, and Brendan Rice, waived and injured, also gone.
How are they going to fill the international player thing, though?
Don't care. They're clearing the deck, so Smack doesn't have competition. That's what's happening. They're clearing the deck. And we've seen this already. We've had this game already where you had no competition for your young kicker and pretty much said, you're our guy. Don't care how bad you are. You're our guy. Let's roll. And they're doing the exact same thing, version 2 with Brian Gutekunst right now, to give Trace Mack any competition. Because again, if he gets out-kicked, then what? Then he still gets the job and everybody loses their mind like, what are we doing? The rookie got beat. Like, it should be the other guy. They don't want to do that. So they're going to go with this guy. I hope and I pray that if this kid struggles, we don't wait around to see what it looks like in week 1.
Somebody else.
That you just go get a veteran that gets cut at the end, and you bring a veteran in to kick in week 1, and we don't see this Trace Mack dude going forward. Put him on the practice squad.
Do you think they feel they can just do that at any point in the season?
Probably.
They feel like they can just sign a kicker and be okay if Trace Mack doesn't work out. That's why they're just not even bothering with it right now. Just go give him as much confidence, and then when you get to the season, week 5, he sucks. That you just Brandon McManus. Welcome back to the Packers.
I would love to hear that phone call. Somebody.
Brandon, we just wanted to give you a vacation for a little bit. That's all it was.
Please be rolling video on McManus when he gets that call. I want somebody to be rolling video. That would be amazing. James Southside, you're next on Wisconsin Sports Daily with me, Steve Sparky Fifer. What's up, James?
Hey, guys. Yeah, I was just listening, and, as far as like the no huddle offense and stuff like that, it's just funny how teams can go into the no huddle at the end of the game and just roll down the field, and they don't do it more. I mean, not say that you do it all the time, but even on the second drive, you get a feel for what they're doing defensively. Defense goes out, you come back on your second drive and give it a test, like you said. And if it goes good, wait a couple of drives, do it again. Don't just wait. You know what? It amazes me how much time is wasted in football. And at the end of the game, they're scrambling with a minute left to try and get some points. And they take, I can't remember how many times I'm sitting there watching Rodgers, and it's like, man, snap the ball. You take it down to 1 second and basically could have called for tons of delay of games. It's like there's so much time on that clock. Use it. I mean, they should be able to get twice as many plays on. I understand you throw a deep ball, you rehuddle, take a little break, gives guys a chance to get their breath. But it just amazes me year in and year out how much time is wasted. Like you said, getting play calls in or whatever, get it done, get up there, snap the ball. They ain't scrambling at the end of the game to get 3 points when you could have done it, had an extra 15 plays during the game. I'm sorry, but that's just how I feel. I'll let you guys go.
James, thanks for the call. You really haven't seen that in the NFL since, Jim Kelly and the Bills? That was probably the last time that K-Gun offense where you saw somebody just completely commit to running that. Manning and the Colts did it as well, where Manning would walk up to the line. They wouldn't snap it right away. He would if he saw he had an advantage, but he would still look over at Tom Moore, call his play with everybody at the line. They never even huddled. They just all ran up to the line and waited. Manning read the defense and then went. And then if he had the opportunity to snap the ball with somebody trying to run off and back onto the field, he'd get them. I would be all for running more of that than not running that going forward. The issue that you have is if you keep going 1, 2, 3 punt, your defense gets no rest time, and then they're gassed by halftime because you're not moving the ball, you're not scoring the ball, and they're on the field way more than they should be. And that other defense is super rested probably because they're out there for a grand total of less than 5 minutes between 3 plays. And they're back on the sidelines having a Gatorade watching their offense milk the clock. Like that could absolutely backfire if you try to do it all the time, unless you're elite like Thurman Thomas and Andre Reed and Jim Kelly. If you're elite, absolutely you can do it. Or Peyton Manning and Marvin Harrison and Edgerrin James and those guys. Okay, that makes sense. You can make that work. Marshall Faulk, sure. Do they have that type of talent to make it work that consistently? That I don't know.
No, and I think that's something that you're going to find out to start off this season. I think when guys are healthy, this offense can be really dangerous.
Yeah.
Just everybody has to stay healthy, and I think you do have those types of weapons. And I think moving forward here with this Packers offense, if you're going to do this, you have to be willing to do it in the second half too. Even if you have a big lead, you have to go in, and if it's going to work, you have to let Jordan Love come out in that second half and put the gas on the other team right away and make sure that they can't get back up. I talk about it all the time. Put your foot on these other teams' necks. Stop just getting complacent or being cautious in that second half when you have a lead. Make sure that you just can end the game. Stop doing what you've been doing and be more aggressive.
Absolutely correct. Some of the things that happened at training camp practice today, all kinds of fun stuff, right? Everybody's out there. Aaron Bangs, Zach Tom, both were with the ones in the team walkthroughs and all of that. Wyatt is out there on defense as well. And then you start reading what's going on. And again, I like using Andy Herman, Ryan Wood. Everybody that's there is doing play-by-play. So you can pick to go with whoever you want. A couple of things that I picked up reading through this earlier today was it feels like the run defense did pretty good today. Again, you're not pads. So you can take this for what you want as far as that. But it felt like the defensive line did a fairly decent job. The other part of this, that Sturdivant kid, that was the undrafted wide receiver. And I brought up right away when they signed him, I'm like, hey, maybe this dude makes the team. This dude looks pretty good. Well, he had a drop yesterday, but played well. Today, he played really well, but had another drop with nobody around him. So that's 2 drops in 2 days, even though he made all the other plays that you want. Matthew Golden had a big day today as well. He made a leaping catch in between a couple of guys that everybody was talking about being the catch of camp through 2 days. Obviously, there will be better catches probably as we go. Watson and Love feeling it together in red zone drills, had a couple of touchdowns. So that was good. Keyshawn Nixon, I guess, did okay today. Valentine sounds like he did okay today. They both played fairly well when they were out there. Let's come some of the stuff that we saw today at training camp practice based on those that were live tweeting as we were going along here.
It's also still day 3, so while it's very cool to see some guys starting to perform well, we got to make sure that we remember that some of these guys are doing it against backup practice squad level players. Yes, maybe they're that too, but everybody's just playing as hard as possible. So you're going to see some guys that are maybe overperforming, and the Packers coaches know that. They'll see that. They'll weed those guys out eventually throughout this process. Doesn't mean you can't be happy for these guys when they're succeeding, but also keep just watching. Let's see what happens throughout this process and throughout the preseason.
Just a reminder for those of you that may have forgot, Tim Allen and his band, they're out tonight. He's off tonight. 8:00 at Maddie's, Maddys. So like when I say double T's, it sounds like double D's. So I really wanted to make sure I am telling you the correct, because there's Maddie's Bar and Grill, 2 T's, over here in New Berlin. That is not where he is playing. His band is playing at Maddys, Maddys Bar and Music Lounge on Madison in Milwaukee. Actually, is it in Milwaukee or Waukesha? I don't know. But Maddys, Maddys
Those
Bar.
are 2 different places.
I don't think so. I think there's only one.
No, I'm just saying, like Milwaukee and Waukesha are 2 different places.
Well, put it into your Google map and figure out where Maddys Bar and Music Lounge is. Waukesha, right. And they start at 8:00 tonight. So if you want to go check out some classic rock music and go watch Tim's band Conviction, you can absolutely do that this evening. Coming up next, Plead the Fifth, brought to you by Hamish and Rotier. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky with you. It is Wisconsin Sports Daily. See Sparky Pfeiffer. Charlie using over there. Some Brewers news. DL Hall activated. He'll be back in the bullpen for the Brewers tonight. Thomas Pannone designated for assignment.
Thank you for your service.
To nobody's surprise. DL Hall coming back is big now. Now the next move should be Aaron Ashby. Figure out whatever you need to figure out that he has. Sure, perfect. Back tightness, right? Back spasms, whatever. Off you go to, Cancun or whatever for 10 days. Go relax, have a couple of beverages. Just do not throw anything. I don't want you to throw a rock. I don't want you to throw anything for the next 10 days. And we're just going to rest and relax. DL Hall will be our lefty. We'll try and wear him out for the next 10 days. And then when you come back, we'll get you on your regular schedule and we'll move forward. That would be my preference of how this works. If I am the Brewers, I'm trying to give Ashby a vacation for like 10 days, and then we'll come back and start over.
I think you have to. He just looks burnt out, man. And I get it. He's pitched a ton this season. You got to let him get a little bit of rest in there. You have plenty of other guys that can fill in those roles. Give some other guys a shot. Bring up some more Thomas Pannones. You'll figure it out.
Hey, want to score a free Wendy's Frosty Classic this summer when the Wisconsin Timberrattlers, proud a high affiliate of the Milwaukee Brewers, records 10 strikeouts in a game? You can go to any Wisconsin Wendy's and get a free small Frosty Classic. Follow the Wisconsin Timberrattlers on X or Instagram as they post after every game with 10 strikeouts. They got 9 last night. So close. This offer is good for 24 hours following the game. Again, 10 strikeouts for the Timberrattlers, and you get a free Frosty the next day, courtesy of Wendy's. It's Friday. It's that time.
It's a Plead the Fifth Friday, sponsored by Habush and Rotier. Who should have just kept their mouth shut? Who made a bad decision commenting on a topic they shouldn't have? Let's hear who you think should plead the fifth this week on Wisconsin Sports Daily. Served up by Wendy's with Steve Sparky Pfeiffer.
We should have put this on a different day other than Friday. All it does is irritate me going into my weekend. It does every single time. This Plead the Fifth segment should have been on like Wednesday. Why in the world did I put it on Friday for?
Because alliteration, Fifth and Friday.
Is that why I did it?
I think that's the easiest way to do it.
If you want to nominate somebody for Plead the Fifth, call in, text in 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250. You can use the Dugout YouTube chat as well. And Conson 23OT is like running their own show over here on the Dugout YouTube chat. Like
responding to
commenting
everybody.
to everything I say, is responding to something at this point. So that's good. Making fun of me for my plug of Tim Allen's Conviction Band after I said Milwaukee. Then I said Milwaukee. So he's like, oh, I got it. So he's in Racine. Funny guy. Okay, what do we got?
Let's first head on over to the Nicolay Law talk and text line where Dave in Cudahy stole my thunder a little bit because I was going to replay this guy, but he says, plead the fifth. One has to be given to that senile MLB Network bum, Steve Phillips. His Brewers trade proposal for Skubal is the biggest joke that has ever been stated by a so-called expert. Madej, Laura Pena, and Ashby, guys should be fired. It's particularly bad when so many people state the Dodgers would have to give next to nothing to acquire the guy. Makes me angry just thinking about it. Here is Steve Phillips given that trade.
They're going to have to give up Jesus Madej, the top prospect in the organization, to get him. And they're likely going to have to give up Luis Lara as well. Luis Lara, who's in the big leagues right now, who's got great plate discipline at the minor league level. Has been a really nice producer and off to a decent start in his big league career. I think those two are going to have to lead the way in the deal, and it may include Luis Pena as part of that too. I think they'll get away with not putting Cooper Pratt in since he's on the major league roster. That I know they don't want to give up a starter in the big leagues, but Lara is up there, but I think they can afford to give him in the deal. And so I think it's going to be a monster trade that they're going to have to go up major league ready talent return, but they're also going to want some pitching. And now whether that is Aaron Ashby is some part of that too, but I think that Ashby could be something. If I'm the Tigers, I want Ashby coming back in the deal because I know he's that long reliever getting all the wins, but I think he's a potential starter, and he would be part of that package too, bringing back a major league ready pitcher in return.
I love Matt Arnold. You know I love Matt Arnold. If he trades Madej, Lara, Pena, that'd be 1 and 2 prospects in the organization, and the number 1 prospect in baseball, and Aaron Ashby for a rental, he should be fired.
I think so.
That's a fireable offense.
I think so.
You're fired. bye. No, you're fired. That's no. Now, you do something like that for James Wood, who's got like 3 more years of control, and he's a masher and blah, 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 and he plays every day. He's not a pitcher. I still don't think I would do that.
Even then still feels
that still feels like a ton, but I mean, I guess I would listen. I just don't know. I mean, your first and second prospect in the same deal, that's like Ohtani. That's like, it's got to be a
James Wood and CJ Abrams.
Yes, correct.
Okay,
there you go. Right, and it's got to be something like that to where it really puts you over the top for a chance to win a World Series at this point, and kind of go for it. But there is absolutely no chance I'm doing that for a rental. There is 0 chance I am doing that for a rental. Now, having said that, I saw last night a report that Hunter Green, they were getting calls in Cincinnati.
Mm-hmm.
This morning, Bob Nightingale, USA Today insider, he had a long piece this morning, and he said that Cincinnati was not taking calls and they're shutting it down. They're not trading Hunter Green. Now, I just saw on my phone in the break Ken Rosenthal talking about how the Reds might move Hunter Green and that they're kind of listening.
That's what MLB Network, what's flashing across the screen is that the Reds are listening, but they're not really looking to trade him right now.
So somebody's going to have to overpay to get Hunter Green, who you would have to like 2030, I think it is, or something like that. Now that's a hell of an interesting story. The problem is he can't stay on the field and stay healthy. Like, you just can't. When that thing got posted last night on X, I started scrolling in the comments, and Reds fans were like, cool, see ya. He doesn't pitch more than 10 games in a year, and we paid him all that money. Goodbye, see you later. Like, they don't seem heartbroken at all if they moved on from Hunter Green. From a talent perspective, the man's a monster. Like, Hunter Green and Mizorowski back-to-back in rotation for the next 4 or 5 years.
Followed by Kyle Harrison.
Ooh-wee.
Yeah, sure.
If you could keep all of them healthy, boy, oh boy. I mean, that would be bad stuff there. I would not want to deal with that if I'm another team. Okay, what else you got?
Next up, we're going to hear from Tampa Bay Buccaneers quarterback Baker Mayfield, who was talking with the press today. And yes,
yesterday.
Yesterday, he was not happy. Today, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers somebody released that everybody thinks it's the Buccaneers, that they offered him a 2-year, $100 million deal with a couple more incentives. Apparently, Baker Mayfield did not feel like that was enough.
Time out. No, they did not offer
that was the report. That was the report. That's the deal. I'll go back and find it.
No, that's like a fake troll account. They did not offer that cat 2 and 100, and he was disrespected. I mean, the Baker Mayfield sound from yesterday, it feels like they offered him, like, I don't know, starter 30 money in the NFL in order to sign an extension with the Buccaneers. Again, Mayfield is hot by how much disrespect he had.
3-year contract worth $100 million with $50 million guaranteed. That was Ian Rappaport there.
Okay, so 3 at 100. Okay, well, that's much better. Okay, so now we're talking like $30-some million a year. Yeah, but that's not close to the top. I mean, Jordan Love's over 50. Okay, that makes more sense. Fair enough. Okay, now go on.
This is Baker Mayfield talking about that.
I wanted the deal done and set the deadline and told them it was going to be all ball after that. And I did mean that. And I don't know if they thought I was just going to take some of the offers that they gave, but I'm at the point in my career and understanding what I've brought to this franchise. One, I'm very, very thankful for the chance they gave me. Do not get me wrong on that. But I've also I really know what I've brought to this franchise, leadership-wise, and even play-wise. It's been some of the best years of my career, and I think it's only going to trend upwards, just being comfortable and feeling that. So disappointing in that regard to not have, to feel disrespected a little bit. And that's really the disappointing part, to feel undervalued after – thinking you've earned it. This is not a poor me thing. There's a lot of other people that have it way worse off, but I can sit here and look at other quarterbacks and peers and evaluate myself based on that and put myself in certain categories that I deserve to be compensated for that. And I think I'm a franchise quarterback. I've been told I'm a franchise quarterback. It's been said publicly from ownership down here. And so to not have a deal done is very disappointing, but I said the deadline was a deadline, and I addressed the team to let them know I meant that. It's all ball. I'm with these guys. I think all the guys that have been here know exactly who I am. The guys that are new here, I wanted to address that because they might have had a notion prior to coming here about who I am as a person, but it's all team.
Okay, Mayfield's on that contract you just said already.
Yeah, so the Bucs offered, so I was right before, this is from Jeremy Fowler, offered Baker Mayfield a 2-year deal worth slightly above $100 million total. Mayfield felt structure of contract wasn't suitable, mainly the guaranteed money on that deal, wanted longer than 2 years, and he was long dismayed by Bucs' low initial offer back in June.
So to give you an idea here, money-wise in the NFL, the top paid quarterback on a yearly salary is Patrick Mahomes, $64 million per year average.
Mm-hmm.
Dak Prescott, $60 million per year average. Joe Burrow, 55. Josh Allen, Jordan Love, Trevor Lawrence, Matt Stafford, Jared Goff, all at $55 million. $53 million. Oh, no, take that back. Goff is $53 million. Brock Purdy is $53 million. That is so overpaid. Holy crap. 52.5 million, Justin Herbert. Lamar Jackson, 52 million. Jalen Hurts, 51 million. Then Deshaun Watson, 46 million. We all know that's been horrible. Daniel Jones of the Colts got 44 million. And then Darnold and Mayfield are at 33 million. Malik Willis, big jump down to 22.5 million. So for him to say, hey, I want to be somewhere closer to, 52 to 53 million, somewhere in that range, to me makes all the sense in the world. And he's 31. I mean, if you look at the ages of these deals, 31, 33, 30, 30, 28, 27, 38, the Stafford, 32, 27, 28, 29, 28, 31. Like that, his age should not play a factor in him getting, let's say, a 3 or a 4 year deal at this point, averaging $52 or $53 million.
And I think the main reason I put it in plead the fifth is a lot of people were saying he shouldn't have said this publicly. Like, this was a bad decision to say to the media. The Buccaneers aren't going to be happy with this decision. But at the same time, it kind of feels like this is something that he hasn't said to the media for a long time. And now the Bucs have pushed him to the point where he feels like he does need to say that to the media. So I think I kind of understand where he's coming from. I also kind of understand wanting to try to keep this under wraps as long as possible. And this feels like a risky move from Baker Mayfield.
I don't think anybody's to be surprised that that is that dude's personality. This is how he rubs people the wrong way
in the past.
Yes, he's actually matured over the course of time. But these guys like playing for him. It sounds like in Tampa Bay, they lost Mike Evans, so there's going to be some questions there. I don't know. It didn't bother me. Especially when you look and see what he's $20 million under where guys of his stature are right now in a 2-year deal at 31. They don't have anybody there right now. Like, they still have to draft somebody to replace him if that's what they're going to do kind of moving forward. All right, what else do they got?
And last up here, we're going to head on over to Pro Football Talk Live, where Mike Florio and Chris Sims were discussing the Green Bay Packers potentially selling naming rights to Lambeau Field.
Who cares
if
you sell the naming rights? This isn't a church.
Who cares?
It's a football stadium. It affects nothing about the experience for anyone. It is stubbornness, and it is lost money every single year. Whatever you think about it, that ship sailed 25 years ago. It is found money. It is money for nothing. You do nothing other than put the sign up or cover the sign up if FIFA's coming to town for the World Cup. Other than that, all you do is put the sign up and you cash the check. I think it's a mistake to not do it. And you can't whine about not having enough money and then say, oh, we're not going to sell the naming rights to the stadium.
Yeah, it's surprising. It is surprising. I mean, in the era we live in right now where everybody, and especially corporations, are looking for every last dollar they can absolutely get, it's shocking. I will say, though, I applaud it. I applaud it. I don't want them to lose that name, and I know what you mean. It doesn't really mean anything, but it is special. Or I guess if they did lose it, I'd want it to be like
it can still be.
It can be Coca-Cola Stadium at Lambeau Field or whatever. Right. Yes. That's where it has to be.
Yes.
I hear you. But there is something special about that Lambeau Field or Soldier Field or Yankee Stadium. As a traditionalist, I do like that. But I do understand the era we're in, and you're not wrong. The Packers not having an owner is a detriment to them. They're at a disadvantage.
We're on in Duluth Superior on the game. So I know we have a lot of people that are Twins fans, Vikings fans, and so forth listening in that area on the game. So I'm going to try not to offend y'all. but y'all don't have a winning history in anything. Like that is a potential issue when you start having this. You tear down the Metrodome and you sell the title sponsor of your new field to Target. Makes all the sense in the world.
A local company, yeah,
absolutely.
It's like Miller Park. You feel okay with that, right?
Absolutely, I got no problem with it. But that title is going to change, and that's going to become 10 other things before you're dead. If you're in like your 20s, you're going to see it change 5-10 different times. Fenway Park has been the same for your grandfather as it was for your father, as it is for you at this point. It's always been Fenway Park, just like it's always been Lambeau Field, as it's been Wrigley Field at the same point. So if Florio wants to take his shot at Green Bay, by all means, take your shot at all the other people that have the same thing. Now, the reason that he takes his shot,
because the Packers are broke and they need your money.
No, because the Packers decided to be vocal about it. I don't see what exactly was gained by Ed Policy deciding to communicate that to the entire free world that, oh, by the way, we're going to be screwed here in a little bit, just so y'all know. What was gained by that? Like, what was the strategic point of view in saying that publicly? Please explain that one to me. I don't know Ed Policy. I like Ed Policy. I wanted Ed Policy to be in that position based on everything I've heard from people that know him. So I was all about the Ed Policy hire. But that statement there was nothing to be gained. That was only going to be negative PR across the board when he said that. And then you open up yourself to yahoos like Florio saying what he said. There was no reason to say that.
No.
None at all. Made $75 million. All right, cool. Moving on. Let's talk about this season. We're in a position to go win a Super Bowl, blah, blah, blah.
And anytime we
don't got to talk about what it's going to be like in 10 or 20 years. Let's just stay in the present and move forward.
Anytime you're talking in millions and billions and you're going to start talking about how you're losing a little bit of your millions and billions that you already have, people aren't privy to that. Everybody around the Packers that are watching the Packers, the fans, even people in the front office, in the building, people that are talking about it, can't fathom that amount of money. And that if you're going to complain about that or talk about it in front of everybody, you're just going to rub people the wrong way because they can't understand that and they won't understand that and they don't need to understand that. It's your job to figure that out. So why are you telling us about it? It just sounds wrong. It sounds weak.
Yes, it does. And again, there was no need to do it. Absolutely no need. Again, inexperience, whatever. It happens. Just hopefully we don't do that again. There's just no need to do it. None. Unless that was some type of play to get somebody to spend money that wasn't spending money with the Packers, right? If that was something about trying to get a better deal with the city of Green Bay, so he said it so the mayor heard him or whatever, oh, poor us,
again,
we're going to be screwed.
Rub them the wrong way.
Yes. Man? I would think so. I'm not the mayor, but we already know they've had their things.
Some people in Green Bay that talk about how they don't like having the Packers there sometimes.
Yeah, that's so stupid. Move.
Yeah,
then move the hell out.
Yeah, right.
That's my advice to you. You don't like it, you can always move. There's moving trucks always available.
Door County's gorgeous. You can move up the coast a
little bit. There's places to live in Cudahy by me, South Milwaukee, Oak Creek. We're bustling. We have houses going up everywhere, so maybe not as much space in Oak Creek. Duluth Superior is gorgeous.
Had a great time up there for the 4th.
Yes, you absolutely loved it up there. So again, all possibilities. Speaking of the Green Bay area, hey, let's help out our friends in the Fox Cities recover from the tornado that ravaged their houses and businesses today and tomorrow. So right now until 7 o'clock, tomorrow between 7 a.m. and 7 p.m., we're asking you to make a food and or supply donation at the Green Bay East Festival Foods or the Festival Foods in Oshkosh. Now, you can also make monetary donations as well. They have a QR code. So if you pull up, get out of your car, scan the QR code, boom, you can donate monetarily right from your phone. Or if you don't like that, a lot of older people don't, no problem. You can drop cash in a box or whatever. Or you can write a check. All the money goes towards the United Way Fox Cities. United Way Fox Cities gets all the money that's raised here in the next couple of days. Make sure to do that. Again, Green Bay East Festival Foods or the Festival Foods in Oshkosh. Operation Valley Strong. Find out more details like what they're looking for at wisportsradio.com. My guy Jason Hillary at WNFL. It's their cluster of stations up in Green Bay that are putting this on. Just sent me a picture. They got the semi. They're filling up the first semi. They need a heck of a lot more than one semi, though. So they've got the first one filled. It's not like stacked to the ceiling, but I mean, it's pretty full. I mean, it's pretty full, right?
Nice,
I mean, they're doing a nice job. So again, come on, let's go. Let's keep it up. Let's keep moving forward with this. And again, Oshkosh isn't that far of a drive. And as I said yesterday, and they're not a sponsor, but just as a parent, I'll tell you, if you make the drive from southeastern Wisconsin to the Festival of Foods in Oshkosh, you can make it a day. Show your kids about how giving back and helping others less fortunate and all that. So you're setting a good example, and then reward them, and you can take them and go play arcade games at the Minecraft in Oshkosh, and they will love you forever. So you show them how to be a good citizen and give back and all that. And then you let them play games. You spend a day in Oshkosh. They've got the Air Museum or whatever
Space
there.
Museum,
Right.
that's awesome. Cool simulators and stuff in there.
I mean, the Herd's not playing right now, but that's another fun thing to go see the Wisconsin Herd play too. So again, go do that 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. today and tomorrow, Green Bay East Festival Foods or the Festival Foods in Oshkosh. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky here. It is Wisconsin Sports Daily. Steve Sparky Fiver with you. Habush, and Rotier, baby. National reputation. Hometown serving. Helping injured Wisconsinites since 1930. Lots of lawyers have come and gone. But they all maintain that high standard, that high bar of when you come in, they're approachable. It feels like a family or a friend looking to help you out, looking to go the extra mile to get you what you feel like you deserve. You get injured in a car accident and you're in the hospital, or you're being examined by doctors and you're paying doctor bills and your car is destroyed and you're trying to figure out what you're going to do for a car and dealing with insurance and police reports and all this other stuff. And you're stressing out and you can't sleep. I've been through all of it. I've been through it. I know what you're going through. And I'm telling you, you need to go to the best. You need to go to the people that you can trust. That is Habush, and Rotier. Check them out right now. Habush.com. National reputation, hometown service. Absolutely need to do it. We only have a couple minutes left here. I saw that Tony Romo is essentially on leave from his duties as an analyst. And J.J. Watt is going to step in with Jim Nantz and do that going forward, to which I say, good choice, CBS. Now, whether or not Romo eventually gets back in the booth, I don't know, but smart move going with J.J. Watt.
Do you think this would have happened if the video didn't get released or leaked? Do you think they still would have made the same move, even with the news being out there?
Yes. Yeah. I mean,
I just feel like,
listen, everybody,
done that then
everybody, they could have done it quicker. Yeah, absolutely. Maybe they did and just didn't get out publicly. Maybe. But this is the thing. Everybody, for the most part, that works in the media, in the public eye, whether it be radio, TV, movies, whatever, signs in your contract that you have a code of conduct. And it stipulates in there, essentially, all these things that if you do any of these things, we can terminate you and let you go. Or you can be put on paid leave or whatever the case may be. So you know going in that if you do something stupid like he did, that you could find yourself out of a job, suspended, without pay, whatever. So like any consequences that come with whatever this is going to be with CBS, if he is essentially found guilty at the end of the day of all this, is not to be anything of a surprise, I don't think, to Tony Romo or anybody else associated with Tony Romo. Coming up next, Wisconsin Sports wrap up from 5 until 6, best of what happened on the network today. And then, of course, 7:30 to 8:30, I'll be back with the leadoff show, getting ready for Brewers and Angels. And as I said before, and I'll say again, Operation Valley Strong. Get out to Green Bay East Festival Foods or the Festival Foods in Oshkosh until 7 o'clock tonight. And then tomorrow, open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., trying to fill as many semis as they can with food and supply donations. You can also have a cash donation, a check donation, scan a QR code when you're there, and make a donation online from your phone. All those are available to you. Make sure to get out there and do that. That'll do it for Wisconsin Sports Daily, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Have a good weekend, Wisconsin. Toodles!